of this battle was in Shiloh, Tennessee, near Pittsburgh Landing. When was this battle fought? The Battle of Shiloh was fought on April 6th and 7th in the year 1862. Who were the generals in this battle? The generals in this battle were Albert Sidney Johnston from the Confederacy and Ulysses S. Grant from the Union. What happened during the battle? During the attack, Johnston drove the Union Army back towards Pittsburgh Landing. Johnston drove Grant towards the river, threatening to trap him. Johnston died later that day from bleeding to death. On April 7th, Grant had the help of Wild's army. The Confederates slowly retreated, but they also left a good amount of damage to the Union soldiers. How many casualties were there? The Northerners suffered 13,000 casualties, and the Southerners suffered 10,000 casualties. So in total, there were 23,000 casualties. Who won the battle? It was a Union victory. Woo! These are my sources.
Battle of Murfreesboro by Isabel Lucio. Date and location. The Battle of Stones River, or the Second Battle of Murfreesboro in the South, simply known as Murfreesboro, was fought on December 31st, 1862 till January 2nd, 1863 in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Okay, sorry, hold up. Okay, at dawn on December 31st at 6 a.m., Confederate General William J. Hardee struck first, attacking the Union's right flank. Okay, he attacked before Richard W. Johnson finished their breakfast. The attack caught the Union by surprise. By 10 a.m., General Hardee drove the Union back 3 miles. What saved the Union from total destruction that morning was General Sheridan's division, which anticipated an attack, and his troops were up by 4 a.m. Okay. January 1st, January 2nd. At 3 a.m., the South moved across the river, protecting 2 rivers and 2 crossing sites. January 1st was a quiet day as both sides observed New Year's Day and resting and tending to the wounded. At January 2nd, 4 p.m., Breckinridge troops were to attack Beatty's division. By 4:45 p.m., a Union division under the command of James S. Negley led the counterattack, and the Confederate troops retreated, having lost 1,800 casualties in under an hour. Okay, aftermath. Aftermath. Total casualties in the battle were 24,645. 12,906 on the Union side and 11,739 from the Confederates. Considering that only 76,400 men were engaged, this was the highest percentage of killed and wounded of any major battle in the Civil War, including the infamous bloodbaths at Shiloh and Antietam earlier that year.
The Battle of Antietam. The Battle of Antietam was fought between Sharpsburg, Maryland, and Antietam Creek. George McClellan was the Union general, and Robert E. Lee was the Confederate general. The casualties in the North lost 12,000, and the South lost 14,000. The Battle of Antietam was fought on September 17, 1862. It was fought between Sharpsburg, Maryland, and Antietam Creek. This battle was also the first battle on northern soil. General Robert E. Lee was advancing into Maryland. His plan was to divide his army. McClellan planned to overwhelm Lee's left side, but failed to do so. General Robert E. Lee lost a copy of his attack plans, which landed in the hands of Union General George McClellan. McClellan had 2 major advantages in this battle. He outnumbered the Confederate troops 2-1 and had a copy of the Confederate attack plans. The first 2 hours of the battle were indecisive. Next, McClellan attacked head-on and attacked Lee's right. Finally, the Union general attacked the Confederates' right side, where the Union troops pierced the line, but were stopped by Confederate reinforcements. The battle ended as a draw, but the North claimed victory. Even with these two major advantages, the Union General lost a lot of men. Both sides lost a lot. The Union troops lost 12,000 and the Confederates lost 14,000. This battle also allowed Lincoln to issue the preliminary Emancipation Proclamation. The Battle of Antietam also later be known as the bloodiest day in the Civil War. I need more sources.
Woo! Back to Cold Harbor by me. The beginning. The Battle of Cold Harbor started on May 31st, 1864 and didn't end until June 12th of 1864. Robert E. Lee to this day is praised for his tactical brilliance and has remained an honored figure in the American South. Lee has served in the Mexican War and was only slightly wounded after. He is a brave general and will always be remembered as one. Ulysses S. Grant was President Lincoln's most trusted general. He won numerous battles against General Lee and his army. Leading up to the Battle of Cold Harbor, Ulysses was conducting the Overland Campaign. The Overland Campaign was to keep Lee's forces distracted in Virginia while William T. Sherman's forces swept across the south toward Atlanta. The campaign was also to help gain land from the south. Grant intended to attack Lee's army, cut off his supply lines, and isolate him from the Confederate capital. Leading up to the Battle of Cold Harbor, Grant's army collided with Lee's forces on May 30th of 1864. The battle took place at Bethesda Church. The battle lasted all day, but the winner was inconclusive. The next day after the Battle of Bethesda Church, advanced units of the armies arrived at crossroads of Old Cold Harbor. Grant was prepared for a major assault along the Confederate line on June 2nd, but plans changed. General Hancock's Union Corps did not arrive, and the operation was put off until the following day. General Grant is angry that General Lee was not attacking. Without waiting for his extra troops, Grant attacked on June 3rd. His army was met with heavy fire and suffered significant casualties. The Union Army was only able to reach some Confederate trenches. The Confederates suffered from 2,500 casualties, while the Union suffered from 13,000. Despite these significant numbers, Grant stayed for 9 more days trying to taunt Lee's army. Oh, the words didn't come out. So it was actually supposed to be Grant felt guilty and expressed remorse for all of those who had suffered and died in the Battle of Cold Harbor. So it was actually supposed to say a quote where Grant stated that he believes, he always feels regret for all that was lost in that battle because it wasn't supposed to happen. So, yeah, I mean, these are my resources.
The Battle of Chattanooga by Samantha Elrod. When and where? The Battle of Chattanooga was taking place in Tennessee from November 23rd to November 25th, 1863. Main generals. Generals that fought in this battle were Major General Ulysses S. Grant, which fought for the Union, and General Braxton Bragg, which fought for the Confederacy. Information. The Battle of Chattanooga was broken into 3 parts. It was broken up and led by General Grant, General Sherman, and lastly General Hood, which all fought for the Union. General Sherman was in charge of attacking General Claiborne at Tunnel Hill. General Hooker was advancing slowly from Lookout Mountain, but not with much success. The greatest amount of success came from the last and final part, led by General Grant. Grant is known for winning many battles, so of course he was given the winning part. The South did not suspect this attack, but they knew they had to defend their land. The battle lasted 3 days. Casualties. There was a large amount of casualties in this battle. The Union lost 5,800 soldiers, while the Confederates lost about 6,700 soldiers, a total of 12,500 casualties. Outcome. The Union won the Battle of Chattanooga. The Battle for Chattanooga was a turning point in the Civil War because it opened the doorway to the Union forces from invasion into the Deep South, making it possible for the capture of the land. These are my sources for pictures, sources for information. Thank you for listening.
The Kennesaw Mountain by me, Carolina Ortiz. Why did this war start? It started because William T. Sherman created an attack on the Confederate General Joseph Johnston's army. General William T. Sherman had the armies from I don't know how to pronounce that, Tennessee into Georgia. General Grant created a plan hoping to bring an end to war. Part of this plan went to General Sherman's army to destroy General Joseph Johnston's army. So that's General William and that's General Joseph Johnston. When and where did this war take place? From June 19 to July 2nd, 1864. They fought in the Atlanta campaign of the American Civil War. Nowadays, this is called the Kennesaw Mountain Battlefield Park, and then a picture, and that's a map. This is like sort of the weapons that they used. And who gained victory? After the end of Hyacinth Mountain battle, it was the Confederate gained victory. So that means that the Confederate won and the Union